okay, what's going on in the cryptocurrency world? I think there's a conference that is coming about. There's a consensus conference that is coming up in New York on the blockchain, ICOs, and what's going on. I think we'll have less than 10 days to the end of the registration, and after that, it's going to increase by $500. So there will be many speakers that will be speaking at the conference. So you see, the blockchain industry, just like the internet, is gaining traction, and as you've seen, you have companies like Amazon doing businesses over $700 billion, and Facebook and Google. With the coming of the internet, these companies were actually bettered. And before you knew, I think before the internet, there were companies that were actually doing similar stuffs, and they went out of business. So what is the rule of the game? The rule of the game is either you innovate or you die. You see, with the coming of internet, you already know, like the post office, their jobs are actually dwindling down. Then the post office, then if I wanted to send maybe a letter to my grandma, and I have to take it to the post office. But today we have the internet. I could literally be chatting with my grandma. Then what is it today? So what was one of the news that is out there is as you already know, Bitcoin is now trading over $7,000. Yeah, and the market is going. I think the market before the end of the week should be shooting close to 220 billion dollars. Currently, it's almost 200 billion, and I think some persons are still skeptic, and some other persons from other fields are like saying this and that. When there are platforms like Google who are actually implementing and going after this. The other day we heard of Intel coming into the blockchain. And as a rule of thumb in life, in your life, if you're a businessman and you're not always on the cutting edge, you're not always focusing on technology. How do I increase sales? How do I increase revenue? How do I increase my customer database? How do I increase the people that my sales and everything? And at the lowest, and if you stick to the traditional way and say, "Oh, this is how it is being done for a while," I think you're going to miss out. And the advent of the internet, it means that there was a closure of a certain phase of life. And there are people who were not very apt to get it early, and they missed out. Not only they missed out, they actually went out of business. And you've seen the impact of the internet all over everywhere. You've seen the impact of how the internet has revolutionized how we learn. I think one of the industry that is actually going to be disrupted soon is the it's already disrupting it, the education industry. We basically have schools where you don't need the teacher to be standing in front of you. The courses are already prepared, they are in videos, and whenever you want, you just schedule a meeting online with your teacher, and you could even be having, yeah, like for Skype, your teacher is there and he's explaining to you any problem, walking you through the steps. Yeah, it's a virtual teacher, maybe a teacher you've never met. So you see, the internet is disrupting a lot of things, and also in the religious circle, there are many religious organizations, the churches, the mosque, that are actually integrating technology into the scheme of things. And let's travel back memory lane. there are some persons who actually said that the internet does not really have a potential, and they neglected it. And many of them, they are biting their fingers. You know, when Bill Gates was producing his Windows computers, I heard he went from door to door trying to sell these computers to people. Hey, will you buy this from me? And a lot of persons were like, no, I can't buy this from you. We are used to the traditional systems. And that is why in school we are taught about the generations of computers. We have the 5th generation, the 4th generation, the 3rd generation, the 1st generation, and now look at the generation we have. Look at what your smartphone can actually do. So I don't need to go about carrying a very big dictionary or a very big textbook and putting a weight on myself. I can have it on my smartphone or my tab. And then you have wearable devices. If you sit back and say, well, I don't believe it. Listen, by the time you believe it, a lot of people have made a fortune with it. The early bird gets the worm. That is the rule. So if you are a bird and you want to get the worm, the birds know this. That is why they even before it's before sunrise, the birds are already there. They go to where the worm is and they get it. So the early bird gets the worm. So let me bring you some updates with what's going on in the industry. Now, one of the things that is going on in the industry is that there are rumors that are out there that China might soon be able to trade cryptocurrency. You know, since China banned cryptocurrencies and they say they want to work on their own type of cryptocurrency, and you know every country has their own pride, and since it's not attributed to them, let's say India has been acquiring cryptocurrencies, and I did a video on the exchange that they're adding thousands of persons, literally thousands of persons every month, and people are actually trading cryptocurrencies. So there are news there that maybe they just have to swallow their pride and embrace this technology because they don't want to be left behind. Nobody wants to be left behind. You see, there are governments that are actually studying this thing and what is this thing all about. And the other news that is, sorry. Okay, this is an article that is written by this fellow. What happens when traders quit stock exchanges for online trading? I did a video when I was talking about the Hong Kong exchange where part of it will now be used as a museum. Why? Because I think one of the things that made them to take such steps is they refuse to change. They refuse to change. And maybe they were thinking, oh, we are so big, I think nobody's going to put us out of business. Oh, these guys, I think the internet doesn't have a future. They could not incorporate the change and they were left. Now, part of it is now being used as a museum. You see, if you go through that history, you'll see institutions, religious institutions, business institutions, or institutions all in all aspects of life that could not keep up with the pace of the times, and they were left behind, and they are now being used like a museum. So what do you have to do? You have to keep up with the times. The times we are now, it's not the times where you just end at the basic computer knowledge where you learn Microsoft Word, Excel. Those are good, but go beyond that. So the rule of the game is, if you are not constantly on the path of improvement, if you're not updating with the times, you put yourself in danger. That is why when you install a program, they tell you this is the update. You install an operating system, they tell you this is the update. Update it. Well, if you don't update it, because they know that this thing that is being developed, there are people who are ready to crack it. There are people who are ready to do anything with it. So you have to keep up with the times. And now there's a group called a British Telecom is trying to secure patents for a cyber security method to protect blockchain. I think this is one of the things that will cause the price of cryptocurrencies to skyrocket. Now, your phone, your mobile phone carries a lot of things. So this company, what they seek to do now, they are signing a patent. Now, based on the patent document, the system can also effectively protect a blockchain against such assaults as denial of service attacks, which are aimed completely at overwhelming a miner with high number of requested transactions. And this is a British telecommunication company that is actually signing a patent to actually protect users of cryptocurrency. Now, look at the dimension the blockchain technology is going. We've seen where telecom providers provide data services where you can actually access the net. They kept up with the times. Before, we had telecom communication services that were just there to, you could just take them, make calls and send messages. But the internet came, they actually incorporated data into their services to keep up with the times, so as for them to be relevant to the times. And now they don't want to be left behind. They are actually studying this. Like I told you, there are many people, there are many institutions, from the media, from the communication to the telecom to the education to the medicine to the health, everything. They're actually studying the blockchain. And now a British telecom organization is actually taking the advantage of this. And the question is, how much do you know of the blockchain technology? How much do you know? How much do you know? You see, we're constantly on there's constantly, there's an evolving, there's always an evolving. And if you don't keep up with the times, sorry, you are gone. Then we have the issue of the Hydra issue. This is when they are trying to protect Ethereum from hackers and providing an incentive for people that can actually report hacking activities and what they intend to do with that. Now, this is one of the things. Swarm. They are in their ICU and they are in their next phase. But many of you are aware of PayPal. PayPal, they are actually in their No, sorry, you trust they are in their second phase of their ICO, and it was so incredible that with just less than 3 hours into the launch of the ICOs, they sold over 16, I think 16 or 16% of it. People know that this project is going to disrupt the industry. People know the project is going to disrupt the industry. Let's see how far the sales has gone so far. Let's sign in and see what's what is going on with the ICO. Now we have 19%. So it's at 19% with just less than how many hours? So please do your due diligence and keep up with the time. Now, one of the news I'll be talking about is Bitcoin Payroll. There's a startup called Bitwage. Now, Bitwage has to do with one of the things they want to do is the traditional method of paying workers. They want to bring it into the blockchain system. And now they've added new currencies like the Mexican peso, Romanian lei, Russian ruble, and they have over 18,000 users worldwide. So you see how many industries this thing is actually disrupting. 18 currencies all over the world. Mexico, Brazilian, South African, Turkish, Saudi Arabia, Israeli. Look at it, Israeli. If you workers from Israeli, Swedish, Russian, Romanian, Polish, Norwegian, Danish, Czech Republic, Hungarian, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, and the Philippines. Keep up with the times, please. Keep up with the times. Keep up with the times. So that's to round it up. Remember to look into the Poly Network ICO. I'll talk about that. I also looked into the ICOs that are coming up. Make a decision. Like Richard Templar says, money making decisions, and not only money making decisions. Someone's here. Let me put Richard Templar's phrase in a more better way. Is the best things actually come with a short window with a short window of time. You see, there are people you meet and you may never meet them again. And if you cannot give them all you need to give them, you miss it. If you can't get from them all you need to get from them, you miss it. It happens in the place of mentors. That's why it happens. Oh, when you see a friend and you see a friend dying in a grave and you're like, how could it be? So you just left us, so we never believed it. Oh, we just thought, listen, they are gone. Oh, I could have spent time with you. I could have done, no, they are gone. So you have to take up hold of opportunity. And quickly, I want to talk about something. I want to talk about the mining. Hydro mining and shore mining. Sorry. Okay. I'll reserve that for another video. Hydro mining and shore mining. Have a good day.